Syrian activists say government airstrikes have destroyed a main pipeline supplying water to the key northern city of Aleppo during a day of intense bombardment. Activists say around 100 people have been killed in the latest violence across the country.
A further blow for Aleppo. Much of the city is without water after its main line was destroyed in another day of clashes between rebels and the Syrian army. Fighting also continues in the south of the country, with violence spreading across the Iraqi border.
I thought the plane was going to shell the Syrian side, but the rockets targeted us. My daughter was killed. Me, my cousin and my wife were hurt.
The diplomatic front remains in deadlock. Russia is calling on the UN Security Council to officially adopt an agreement made in June, calling for a political transition in Damascus. That deal, though, does not include the removal of President Bashar al-Assad. Washington says it lacks teeth.
At a regional summit in Vladivostok, Clinton is quoted as saying, "We have to be realistic. We haven't seen eye to eye on Syria. That may continue." Now, Syria's civil war continued in several cities, with opposition groups reporting at least 178 people killed Saturday across the country. Most of the deaths occurring in the two main cities, Aleppo and Damascus. I'm going to warn you, the next scene is graphic. It is disturbing as well. Opposition activists saying 89 people killed in Aleppo as government and rebel forces fought for control of a nearby army base. And you see the destruction here.
An opposition activist in Aleppo says the rebel group attacked a military facility on Saturday in the city suburbs. Opposition forces reportedly took control of the facility after 10 hours of battle, obtaining a large quantity of weapons. The activist says the rebels freed about 350 government soldiers detained at the facility for desertion or refusal to attack civilians. Government forces are said to be concentrating airstrikes on the facility to stop soldiers from defecting to the Free Syrian Army. Battles between government and opposition forces are intensifying throughout Syria. Government forces are also reportedly stepping up attacks with warplanes and tanks on residential areas in suburbs of the capital Damascus and Aleppo.
Aid's already been increased for nations welcoming refugees and will be arriving in the coming weeks and months, and there were promises of more for countries like Turkey, Lebanon and Jordan. The EU's foreign policy head said any sanctions had to work.
Sanctions we keep under review, as you know, not only to consider whether more sanctions should be taken, but to make sure that the enforcement of sanctions is done properly and any ability to evade them is dealt with.